Alright, welcome back to another game of On Base Baseball. My name is Brian Hafferkamp. I'm the designer and creator of On Base. And in this game we're going to have an intra-squad game between our 1972 or 1970s baseball greats. So we're going to call it Team Carlton and Team Ryan, as we have the pitchers here. So I just went ahead and I just shuffled the cards, the pitchers first, and then just flipped them over, one on the left, one on the right, back and forth in a sort of rudimentary draft, and put different players. It largely doesn't matter. All the pitchers are coming out of column 1 and all the batters out of column 2 for the most part. So I think Belanger, he's probably one of the only ones who's not out of column 1 or 2 in the entire set. So it doesn't matter a whole lot. I figure with Belanger we can do some bunting and things like that, but he is a good defender. So let's go through the starting lineups. For Team Carlton, it's going to be Rod Carew leading off, and then Joe Morgan at second base. Mike Schmidt is hitting third and playing third. Dave Parker, the Cobra, hitting fourth in right field. Johnny Bench is the number 5 hitter. Cesar Cedeno is in center field. Greg Luzinski in left. Steve Garvey is hitting 8th. Yeah, let's just make sure I got him in the right spot. Okay, Steve Garvey hitting 8th, and he is going to be the DH. And then Toby Hara is the shortstop. He's hitting 9th for Team Carlton. For Team Carlton, J.R. Richard is going to be going. Right-hander, 31 is his stamina. 221 is his FIP. This was from the 1979 Astros season. He was 18-13 with a 2.71 ERA. For Team Ryan, it's going to be Bobby Bonds in right field leading off. Mark Belanger is hitting second and playing short. Freddie Lynn is in center. He's hitting third. The cleanup man is Jim Rice. So we got the Boston connection, third and fourth. Rice is in left field. Willie Stargell. Pops is going to be hitting fifth. Ken Singleton is the DH switch hitter. He's hitting sixth. Davey Johnson's playing second and hitting seventh. Ted Simmons is the switch hitting catcher. He's hitting eighth. And batting ninth in the order is third baseman Pete Rose. So they have him listed as third base in the 1970 season. He's listed as a second baseman in the 1960s season. All right, and going for Team Ryan is Fergie Jenkins. Fergie Jenkins in 1971 for the Cubs went 24-13 with a 2.77 ERA. His FIP was even better at 2.38. He had 325 innings pitched, 20% K percentage, which is a little above average for the time, but not crazy above, but only a 3% walk percentage, as he walked 37 batters in 325 innings, which is Maddox-like at that point. All right, let's get this one started. We're playing with our cards here, and this is all that we need. I went ahead and wrote in their defensive, whether they're a plus or minus. That way I don't have to go back and look at the cards. So just it's not very difficult to just write plus or minus based off of what their defensive rating is. And we got 2d6 dice, just regular dice. We're going to read the low number first. And then we have our d10, which is going to tell us some of the extra information that we need, some of the detail information, and also for base running. So let's get this one started. This is Team Carlton versus Team Ryan, an intra-squad game between the 1970s baseball greats, decade greats. So these are the best players as ranked by a particular website from the 1970s. All right, Fergie Jenkins to Rod Carew. A 55 is going to be a pop-out because the D10 was a 7. So that's going to be a pop-up to shortstop. So we'll go P6. That's going to be out number 1 as Fergie. Fergie Jenkins gets Carew to pop up. Brings up Joe Morgan. Wonderful, terrific Hall of Fame second baseman. 56 is going to be a walk. So Jenkins misses on ball 4, a rare walk. Joe Morgan at first base. He's a 7 speed. Let's go ahead and try to steal second with him. It's a 9, and he gets gunned down by the catcher Simmons. So nice throw. We're going to call that a caught stealing. That's out number 2. So Joe Morgan caught stealing. It's only about a 20% chance of him getting caught. 22 to be specific. And he gets caught at second base. Brings up Mike Schmidt. Schmidt, last time I saw him on the field, hit a home run. And let's see how he goes here. 35, that's real close. But it's going to be a walk. So back-to-back walks from Fergie, which is uncommon. But we'll see how that plays out. Schmidt is a 6. A little bit hesitant to run now. Got a lot of speed on this team. Everybody is a 6 or a 7. 25 is going to be a double play or a strikeout. And that is a strikeout swinging to Dave Parker. So that's out number 3. Team Carlton strands a runner at first base. They get 2 walks in the inning off of Fergie Jenkins. And can't capitalize on that one. So we go to the bottom of the first inning, and it'll be Bobby Bonds, Mark Belanger, and Freddie Lynn facing off against J.R. Richard, big right-hander for Houston. 35 to Bobby Bonds, and he's going to draw a leadoff walk. Bonds is a 7 speed, so let's go ahead and try to steal with him. 1 to 7, he'll be safe, and he is in there easily with a stolen base. So Bobby Bonds at second base, he stole 43 bags in, 1973 for the Giants. Brings up Mark Belanger. We'll let Belanger hit. He's just 3 batting runs, not a great hitter here, but maybe he can move the runner along. He's going to ground out. This is right in front of the plate. The catcher is Johnny Bench. He looks back the runner at second. Makes the throw to first, and we get no movement out of the runner. Was just hoping for something there from Belanger. So 1 out, and Bobby Bonds is at second base. Freddie Lynn steps to the plate. In 79, he had 39 homers, 122 RBIs. He batted .333. A 34 is going to be a strikeout off of Richard's card as he gets Freddie Lynn looking. And that's strikeout number 1 and out number 2 for J.R. Richard. Richard, 300 Ks and 292 innings in 1979 for the Astros. 35 is going to be a walk, so a second walk, this time to Jim Rice. Rice had only 58 walks in the season represented here in 1978. I puts runners at first and second base with Pops, Willie Stargell coming to the plate. This is Stargell's card from early in the 70s with the Pirates. 57 batting runs. He had over 1,000 OPS that season. A lot of strikeouts, but 48 homers to go with it. He stands in, big left-hander. 16 is going to be a fly ball. This is deep into right center field, but playable by the center fielder, and that is Cedeno, who ranges over to make the play. And that'll be out number 3. So Team Ryan gets a couple of batters on, but can't get them around to score, and we are still scoreless as we head to the top of the second inning. It'll be Johnny Bench, Cesar Cedeno, and Greg Luzinski against the righty Fergie Jenkins. 16 is going to be another deep fly ball, this time to left field as Bench gets a hold of it. But a little bit short of the warning track in left field is going to be Jim Rice, who makes the catch for out number 1. Bench gave it a ride. Didn't eat his Wheaties this morning. We'll see how he comes and finishes out the game, though. Cesar Cedeno in 1972, 320 average, 22 homers, 82 RBIs. 34, that's going to be a K off of Fergie Jenkins' card as he gets him swinging through a fastball. And that is out number 2 as Cedeno strikes out. It's going to bring up Greg Luzinski. Luzinski, left fielder for the Phillies in 77, 309, 39 homers, and 130 RBIs. 26, that's going to be a base knock, and that goes right past the third baseman into left field. And Luzinski is on with a 2-out single. 3.5 is his speed. We'll round that up to 4. Not great speed, so we're going to leave him there. Brings up Steve Garvey. Garvey with the 78 Dodgers, 316 average, 21 homers, 113 RBIs. We got an 11 here, and that's going to be a strikeout as Fergie Jenkins pulls a string with a curveball, and that's going to be out number 3. Jenkins now with 3 strikeouts and 2 walks, so a little bit of everything for Fergie, and he is out of the second inning. We're still tied at 0 as we head to the bottom of the second. Ken Singleton, David Johnson, and Ted Simmons are coming up. A 25 is going to be a double play or a strikeout. That'll be a strikeout swinging, and that's out number 1 as Ken Singleton goes through a fastball, can't catch up to it. 1 down, and Davey Johnson standing in. It's 2 strikeouts now for J.R. Richard. A 22 could be a problem. That's a double or a triple if the D10 is a 6. It's a 3, so that's going to be a 2-bagger as Davey Johnson rips one into the left center field gap. He'll cruise into second base with a 1-out double. So Davey Johnson now in scoring position for Ted Simmons. Let's see, Johnson, only 2 speed for Davey Johnson. So let's see if Simmons can knock him in here. A 13 is going to be a walk. So second walk of the day issued by J.R. Richard. That's going to put runners at first and second base. What that does is open up the double play. So we'll see if Pete Rose hits into a double play, or can he bring home first runs of the game. Looks like it's going to be runs. This is a double, and this one is laced down the left field line as Pete Rose goes the other way with it. Down and digging it out in the corner is Rice, but Luzinski. But he's going to be too late to get that runner, so that run's going to score. And Simmons probably doesn't run well. Does not. He's a 2. So not going to chance it there. So we're going to have runners at second and third as Pete Rose puts Team Ryan on the board 1-0. So 2 in scoring position with only 1 out. And it's back to the top of the order with Bobby Bonds. Bonds 283 average, 39 homers, and 96 RBIs in 1973 for the Giants. 23 is going to be a ground out with an error check. This goes to shortstop. No error on the play. And we're going to make the play 6-3 with the defense playing back. That's out number 2. That's going to be a run scoring fielder's choice. So Bonds with the RBI. The run goes to, actually we're going to keep him at second. He's not going to move up with the play right in front of him. So we have a runner at second base. It is now 2-0. Team Ryan, and Mark Belanger to the plate. Let's see if he can close his eyes, swing hard, and get a base knock. He does not. It's a strikeout looking as J.R. Richard gets him with the breaking ball. And that's out number 3. But Team Ryan does put 2 on the board, and they have a 2-0 lead as we head to the top of the third inning. Toby Harrow will lead things off, but he's going to lead off with a strikeout. So that's out number 1. Fergie Jenkins blows him away. And we're back to the top of the order with Rod Carew. Carew popped out to the shortstop his first at bat. 35 is going to be a walk. So Carew gets aboard with 1 out. He is a 7 speed. Let's go ahead and try to get second base with him, get him into scoring position for Joe Morgan, and he gets thrown out. Man. 2 caught stealings. So Morgan has been thrown out and Rod Carew thrown out by Ted Simmons. Just electric. Wow. All right, Joe Morgan to the plate. He walked and was thrown out at second trying to steal. 46 is going to be a strikeout as Fergie Jenkins gets him looking. And that is going to be out number 3. Nice pitch by Fergie. 3 up and 3 down. Go the Team Carlton. I guess kind of 3 up and 3 down. What do you say whenever they get on base but they get thrown out? Is that like 3 up, 3 down? I don't know what they say. 3 batters, 3 outs. I don't know how you say that, but it's not technically 3 up, 3 down. When we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, it's going to be Freddie Lynn, Jim Rice, and Willie Pop Stargell. 56 is going to be a walk as this goes to Fred Lynn. Fred Lynn, not much speed, just a 3. Only tried 4 steals in 1979. In 78, Jim Rice hit .315 with 46 bombs, 139 RBIs. On these cards, a home run comes on a 34, but we're not going to get that off of J.R. Richard. So it's going to be having to manufacture runs in this one, as the big guns have 34s, and the pitchers are, you know, they're nixing that at the 34. So they're going to have to manufacture some runs. I expect this is going to be a pretty low-scoring ball game. A 1-2 is going to be a ground out. This is hit to third. We're going to go... Oh, there's a runner in advance there. So we're going to go 5-3 on the putout. And on the fielder's choice, we'll get a runner advance to second. So Fred Lynn moves up to second on that little tapper to third. The only play was to first, and Jim Rice is out. Brings up Stargell with a runner in scoring position. We're going to get a double here. This is ripped into the left center field gap as Willie Stargell goes the other way with it. He's going to stand up at second base and feel good about himself because he just drove in another run for Team Ryan. And they have a 3-0 lead as Willie Stargell puts one into the gap. Ken Singleton into the game. In 77 for the Orioles, he had 24 homers, 99 RBIs. He struck out in his first at-bat in this game. 46 is going to be strikeout number 2 for him as he swings through the pitch, and he can't catch up to it. So that's going to be out number 2. Ken Singleton down and Davey Johnson up. He had a double in his first at-bat. Came around to score on the Pete Rose double to left. 46 is going to be another strikeout. So J.R. Richard has it working. He has given up 3 runs though, as he gives up another one in the third. It's 3-0 Team Ryan over Team Carlton. And we head to the top of the 4th inning. It will be the middle of the order: Schmidt, Parker, and Johnny Bench. Fergie Jenkins doing a good job so far. Don't want to jinx Jenkins, but it's pitched well up to this point. Mike Schmidt on at first. Dave Parker standing in. He struck out in his last at-bat. We get a 56. That's going to be another walk. So back-to-back walks. From Jenkins. Has 2 runners on with nobody out. Dave Parker to the plate. Skipped one. Oh, I'm sorry. It is Johnny Bench. So Johnny Bench at the plate. Schmidt at second. Parker at first. Nobody out. And we get a 34 here. That's going to be a strikeout. Normally, Johnny Bench would have parked one. But because we have the column 1 pitcher, that's going to be a strikeout. So like I said, runs are going to be down in this one just for that express purpose, or that reason. If you were playing against another If you had another guy pitching from a different era, this is Scherzer. He doesn't have it. He has a blank at 34. That would have been a bomb. So that's how that's going to work whenever you play them against their own decade, because they're meant to stop each other. These column ones are meant to stop specific things from the 70s chart, but they're not meant to stop things from other decades. So 34 would have been a good result, but in this time it is only good for Fergie Jenkins. A 45 to Cesar Cedeno, who's got 2 on with 1 out. 45 is going to be a fly ball that goes out to center field, and ranging over into right center field is Freddie Lynn. He makes the catch for out number 2. No advancement from the batters or from the runners, and that will bring up Greg Luzinski, the bull. He's got 2 on with 2 outs. Base hit, scores a run. A 33 is going to be a base hit. That's a single for Luzinski, who's got 2 knocks on the day. This one he gets past the first baseman into right field, and we'll call that an RBI for him. As Schmidt comes around to score, going to third base is Dave Parker with 2 outs. So now we have 2 outs and runners on the corners. Steve Garvey comes to the plate. Garvey, a strikeout victim in his first at bat. A 35 is going to be another one as he strikes out looking this time. He's got 2 on the day. And Fergie Jenkins gets out of that one, giving up only 1 run. He had 2 on with nobody out, and Team Carlton gets on the board. They're down 3-1 against Fergie Jenkins. They send J.R. Richard back out to the mound. He'll face Simmons, Rose, and Bonds. An 11 is going to be another strikeout for J.R. Richard. That's 3, 4, 5, 6 Ks in the first 3 1/3 innings. So J.R. Richard working the strikeouts so far. 56 is going to be a walk. So Pete Rose takes the walk. He had 86 of those in 1976. He's at first base, only a 5 speed as far as his speed. He was a hustler, but I wouldn't say he was fast. Not from what I've seen. 33 is going to be a base knock. That's down the right, or the first base line. And we're going to stop Pete Rose at second base as the right fielder Parker gets to the ball quickly. Bonds is on at first, and Rose at second. Move him along. And that brings up Mark Belanger. Let's go ahead and try to bunt with Belanger. Let's get 2 in scoring position for Fred Lynn. I know we're giving up and out here, but the bunt is going to be good. A 1 or 2 is unsuccessful. So these are all going to move up on the sacrifice hit. And runners at second and third now. Belanger does his job. Freddie Lynn to the plate. He's 0 for 1. But he's going to get a big knock here. That's a 22 on a 6 or greater. And it's a 7. That's going to be a triple for Fred Lynn as he triples into right center field. And that will bring home 2 runs. So it didn't matter whether we sacrificed him or not, but we did stay out of the double play, which was good. So he comes home on the triple. That'll be 2 more runs for Team Carlton, or Team Ryan. Triple. And I think that's going to chase our starter Richard, as that's 5-1 now, our score. So let's go ahead and get a new pitcher in here for Team Carlton. All right, new pitcher for Team Carlton is going to be Tom Seaver, who comes in to relieve J.R. Richard. Richard goes 3 1/3, gives up 5 hits, 5 runs, 5 walks, and 6 strikeouts. He's actually on the hook for this base runner at third base. And Tom Seaver is a right-hander. 31 is his stamina. 193 was his FIP in 1971. He went 20-10 with a 1.76 ERA. And he'll be facing off against Jim Rice, not Fred Lynn. Fred Lynn is at third base. Jim Rice stands in. A 35 is going to be a walk as he promptly comes in and walks the first batter. That does set up the double play, so we'll see if Pop Stargell hits into double play. He had an RBI double in his last at-bat. 23 is not going to be a double. That's going to be a ground out to the shortstop. Let's see if there's an error on the play. No error. We're going to go 6-4 on the putout. That's going to score the runner from third on the fielder's choice. Stargell does his job. He beats out the throw to first base and brings up Ken Singleton. That's going to be a ground out to the first baseman. Oh. And that will be a play made. Let's say he takes it to the bag himself. That'll be the first baseman, Carew. And that is out number 2, out number 3. So one more run comes across. The run from Fred Lynn scores. So that's going to be a 6 runs charge to J.R. Richard. His line is closed and Seaver comes in and closes down the threat. We go to the top of the 5th inning. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. No, that can't be right. 3, 6. Sorry. He scored 3 that inning. And it's now 6-1. Team Ryan over Team Carlton. Fergie Jenkins goes out. He'll face off against Hera, Carew, and Joe Morgan. 46 is going to be another strikeout, this time looking, as Hera has gone down twice via the K. And Fergie Jenkins now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts in the first 4 1/3. 55 is going to be a line out that goes to right field. And on a sinking line drive, the right fielder Bonds makes a really nice play for out number 2. That was Rod Carew. And that'll bring up Joe Morgan. Morgan, left-handed hitting second baseman, is 0 for 1. He does have a walk. 16 is going to be a fly ball as he puts this one into play into left center field. Ranging over is the left fielder Rice, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. 1, 2, 3 inning for Fergie Jenkins as he comes back and shuts down Team Carlton. Team Ryan comes to bat. They're up 6-1. Facing off against Tom Seaver, it's Davey Johnson, Ted Simmons, and Pete Rose at the bottom of the order. Ground out here. This goes to second base. No problem there. For the second baseman, Morgan, as he flips it over to first and gets Davey Johnson for out number 1. Ted Simmons. Simmons in 1975 for the Cardinals. 332 average, 18 homers, 100 RBIs. 56 is going to be a walk. And walks have plagued the Team Carlton pitchers. That's the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th walk of the game. You're going to get a lot of walks just because these that's one of the elements of being a column 1 batter is you usually wind up walking a lot. Even Pete Rose, who swings and hits everything, 215 hits, but he had 86 walks, so he had a good eye as well. He's got a runner on at first base, and he will, speaking of, he'll walk here, and that's going to be 2 runners on. And coming up to bat is Bobby Bonds. Bobby Bonds with a strikeout as Tom Seaver reaches back for a little something extra and gets him with the curveball. That's going to be 2 down now with 2 on, and Mark Belanger coming to the plate. 44 to Belanger is going to be a fly out. This is a little pop fly into right center field. The center fielder is Cedeno. He ranges in and makes the play for out number 3. And that shuts down the threat as we get 2 walks in the inning, but Tom Seaver strands them both. And we head to the top of the 6th inning. It's 6-1. Team Ryan over Team Carlton. It will be Schmidt, Parker, and Bench for Team Carlton. Team Ryan. That's not right. Team Carlton. All right. Fergie Jenkins. I just lost my place there for a second. This will be a base knock from Mike Schmidt as he hits one past the shortstop into left center field. And he's on at first base. Let's try to get him in scoring position. We'll see if he can get in there. Or is Ted Simmons going to be 3 for 3? 0 doesn't count. A 2. And he is in there with the stolen base. The odds are with you that you're going to get that steal. 1 to 6. That's about a 66% chance of a stolen base. Almost 70%. Brings up the Cobra, Dave Parker. He's 0 for 1. 35, though, is going to be a walk as he is on base with a walk for the second straight at bat. Puts runners at first and second. Not as big a deal with Fergie Jenkins because he's going to he sets up the double play. And the home run is not in order in this game just because of the way it works out with the 34s. 46 is going to be a strikeout. So a little bit of a weird game if we were playing against another decade or another era, or if it was a worse pitcher, we would have the opportunity for a home run, but works out the way it works out in this one. So this will be 2 on with 1 out now. Cesar Cedeno to the plate. Cedeno with the Astros. 22 home runs. This season out of 163 weighted runs created and a 413 WOBA. A 46, though, is going to be another strikeout. So back-to-back Ks for Fergie Jenkins as he is in hot water and quickly trying to get out of this one in the top of the 6th. Greg Luzinski's 2 for 2. He's got a couple of singles, 1 RBI in his last at-bat. Base hit here is going to help the cause. A 12, though, is going to be a ground out. That goes to the second baseman. Joe Morgan will go the short way. And that's going to be out number 3. So, Team Carlton does not score. And it's going to be Team Ryan coming to the plate. They're up 6 to 1. Tom Seaver, he's gone an inning and 2/3. I mean, there's no real... I mean, he could pitch the rest of the game. But I'll get some other guys in there. It's going to be Freddie Lynn, Jim Rice, and Willie Stargell. 15 is going to be a ground ball. This is smoked, but right to the second baseman. That's Morgan who's up with it and over to first. And that's out number 1. Jim Rice, big right-hander. 51 batting runs in 1978 for the Red Sox. 25 will be a strikeout. That's out number 2. As Tom Seaver drops the hook on him. Brings up Willie Stargell. Stargell, left-handed bat. He's 1 for 3. Does have a couple of RBIs and a double. 66 is going to be a fly ball. That goes out to dead center field. Ranging back a little bit on it is the center fielder Cedeno. He's got a bead on it and makes the catch. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Tom Seaver. And we head to the top of the 7th inning. It is Team Ryan 6, Team Carlton 1. And Fergie Jenkins is at 18, so 27, 26, 25 batters. He can go 33. Let's see if he can make it through the 7th inning, and then we'll bring in some relief. 36 is a fly ball. That's down the left field line as Garvey gets around on it. Over to the line and settling under it is Jim Rice. He'll make the catch in left. No problem there. Steve Garvey is now 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Toby Harrah struck out twice himself. 35, though, is going to be a walk as he gets on the walk train. And he is at first base now with 1 out. 4 speed, not a big threat to steal. He did take 23 bags, so not sure Maybe his base stealing is better than his speed. I'm not sure. Rod Carew to the plate. A 33 is going to be a base hit from Rod Carew as he punches it through the left side. And that goes to the runner at first goes to second. No super advancement there, as this goes right out to the left fielder, Jim Rice, who gets it right back in. We got 2 on now with 1 out. Fergie Jenkins has been dodging raindrops all day. Let's see if he can get out of this one. 36 is going to be a base hit for Joe Morgan, and that goes into the same place as that's laced into left field. Everybody's going to move up 1, and we now have the bases loaded with 1 out. No need to play the infield in or anything. They got a 5-run lead. So we're going to play the infield back and hope for a double play here. Double plays are going to go to second and first. Ground outs are going to go to second. 35 is going to be a walk as Jenkins. Another walk. And that's going to bring in a run, as that's a walk with the bases loaded. All right, let's bring in another pitcher for Fergie Jenkins, and we'll get that all set up. All right, new pitcher for Team Ryan is going to be Bert Blyleven. In 1973 for the Twins, he was 20-17, but a 2.52 ERA, 2.32 FIP, and 325 innings pitched. He relieves Fergie Jenkins. Jenkins goes 6 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs so far, although there's 1 out with bases loaded. He walked 8 batters and struck out 10. Some of those walk numbers are going to be skewed. He would never walk that many batters if he was facing just regular teams. But these column 1 hitters, you can, I mean, they're all over 100 walks. So it's like something's got to give one way or the other. So you're going to get a lot of walks in some of these games if they're playing each other. If they were playing in a different era, maybe there wouldn't be so many walks like this one. Scherzer's got a strikeout at 56. All these guys have walks at 56. So it just depends on how you play the game. But playing intra-squad like this, they're built to walk a lot. All right, Blyleven will be facing off against the Cobra, Dave Parker. So Schmidt took a walk and drove in a run. He's got 1 RBI. He's 1 for 1 with 3 walks and an RBI and a run scored. Dave Parker is 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. And let's see if he can do some damage here. A 45 is going to be a fly ball. That goes out to straightaway left field. Not going to be enough to score the runner from third, I don't believe. Let's see, Carew. We could try, but there's no need. He's a 7 speed. That's not a guarantee. And at this point, when you're down by 5 runs, you need a guarantee if you're going to try something like that. So, especially with Johnny Bench coming to the plate, right? I mean, that's it'd be different if it was Belanger coming to the plate. So Johnny Bench stands in. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. 55 is going to be a line drive. Actually, that's a pop-up. And that pop-up is to the shortstop, as Johnny Bench fails in a key situation. And look at Bert Blyleven come in and give up no more runs. Out of all that situation, Team Carlton only gets 1 run, and that's why they're down 6-2 today, because they just can't drive in the runs when they have the opportunities. That closes the book on Fergie Jenkins, so he gives up just the 2 runs on 5 hits in 6 1/3. So we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Let's get a new pitcher for Team Carlton as well, and we'll get somebody else in the game. All right, the new pitcher for Team Carlton is going to be Vida Blue, the left-hander. He's got a 256 FIP from the 77 Oakland A's. He was 18-13 with a 2.35 ERA. He's replacing Tom Seaver. Seaver goes 2.2 innings, 2 2/3, no hits, no runs, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. And he did get him out of an inning that was going sideways here and helped preserve this lead, kept it to 6 runs, and we'll see if Vita Blue can do that as well, give Team Carlton a chance to come back. It's 6-2, and Vita Blue will face off against Ken Singleton, Davey Johnson, and Ted Simmons. 23 is going to be a ground out. That's right back to the pitcher. We'll see if there's an error. There is an error, and just like that, Vita Blue makes the error. So with the pitchers, I usually give them a 0. They don't have enough innings, really, or fielding innings to be able to give them like a super really good defensive rating or a really bad one. Most of them you'll see they're like 0, 0.1, minus 0.1, something like that. So I just give everybody a 0. I had a question like that on one of the Facebook groups. What do you do with a pitcher when they don't have a defense listed? I just put everybody a 0. So we're going to say E1. You could also look at their actual defensive rating. They have one. I just didn't give them one on their card. So we sometimes if there's a set like the 1970 set, the sets where pitchers were batting, you'll see on their batting card it'll have a defense rating, so you can look at those as well. David Johnson with a runner at first base. Vita Blue, tough start to this one. He's going to get a fly ball here from Davey Johnson, who pokes it down the right field line. It's a dying quail out to right, and coming in hard is Dave Parker. Parker is a minus fielder, so a 1 or a 2. He's going to make an error. He doesn't make the error here. In fact, it's a nice running catch, and that will be out number 1. No movement from the runner at first base. David Johnson frustrated. Thought he had a base hit there. Ted Simmons to the plate. Simmons is 0 for 1. He's got a couple of walks. He scored a run, and he is struck out once. 44 is going to be a fly ball, this time down the left field line. And a tough play in left for Luzinski. He's also a minus fielder. Well, let's roll a real roll. And he's going to make the play in left, running toward the line in the left field corner. He'll make the play. Scampering back to first is Singleton. He was halfway around second base. Thought that one would drop. And instead, we got runner at first with 2 down, and Pete Rose to the plate. 56 is going to be a walk. So that will put runners at first and second. With 2 down, a base hit is going to score a run. And let's see if Bobby Bonds can drive in another run. He's already got 1 RBI on the day. He's 1 for 3. He's got a stolen base as well. 56, that's another walk. And that will load the bases. So bases loaded, 2 down. Vita Blue went from okay to really difficult. And Mark Belanger to the plate. 36 for Belanger is going to be a fly ball. He hits this one down the right field line. Coming over right at the line and camping under it is the right fielder Parker. He'll make the catch for out number 3. Belanger gave it a ride, but not long enough, and that will be no runs in the 7th, even though Team Ryan got the bases loaded. So we head to the top of the 8th inning. It's 6-2, Team Ryan over Team Carlton. Team Carlton will send up Cesar Cedeno, Greg Luzinski, and Steve Garvey. Might need to, I don't know if you need to pinch hit for anybody. We can't pinch hit, actually, because we don't have any extra players. So we have just enough for 2 teams. So a 34 is going to be a strikeout, as Bert Blyleven, with the soft stuff, gets it by Cesar Cedeno. Cedeno now with the hat trick, 3 Ks and a flyout. And that's going to bring up the bull, Greg Luzinski. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI. And this will be a walk. Luzinski with the walk. He had 80 walks against 140 strikeouts. Maybe more walks than you would think for a guy who swung like that. Brings up Steve Garvey. Garvey is 0 for 3. 25 is going to be a fly ball. That goes out to center right field. Straightaway right, the right fielder is Barry. I knew I was going to say that at some point. Bobby Bonds. He's a plus fielder, so only on a 1 does he make an error, and he doesn't make an error there. That'll be out number 2 as he makes a fine running catch. Staying at first base is going to be Greg Lazinski, and Garvey now 0 for 4. Speaking of 0 for, Toby Harrah is 0 for 2. He did walk in his last at bat, and he's going to fly out here. This goes to left field. The left fielder is Rice. He takes 2 steps in and makes the catch for out number 3. Team Carlton strands a runner at first base, and they are down 6-2 as we head into the bottom of the 8th inning. Still got Vida Blue going. He'll face off against Fred Lynn, Jim Rice, and Willie Pop Stargell. 46 is going to be a strikeout. Vida Blue, not a huge strikeout pitcher. Only 166 in about 300 innings. But he gets the K there. That's going to be his first strikeout of the game. Brings up Jim Rice. 24 is going to be another strikeout. So this time he gets him on a changeup. And that's 2 batters, 2 strikeouts for Vida Blue here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Getting that 3rd out has been tough for Vida Blue. Let's see if he can do it here. He's going to walk. Maybe. Yep. And it's another walk. 3rd walk of the outing for Vida Blue. He walked 63 in 298 innings, so completely uncommon for him. But everything here is uncommon. That's going to be another walk, this time to Ken Singleton. And that puts 2 on with 2 outs. Base hit will score a run, and David Johnson stands in. He's 1 for 3, sorry, and a 56, another walk. Oh, actually, this time it's a hit by pitch, as Vida Blue comes in hard on the inside. He didn't hit too many people, but it's a hit by pitch here. Bases are loaded once again for Vida Blue, and let's see if he can get out of this with 1 pitch. Ted Simmons to the plate. Simmons is 0 for 2. He's got 2 walks. A 26 is going to be a base knock, though. That's through the hole in the right side. That's going to score 2 runs, and that's going to chase Vida Blue from the game. As coming in to score is Stargell and Singleton on the base hit. Going to 3rd base is David Johnson, and that's a 2 RBI single for Ted Simmons, who drives it through the hole in right. Let's get a new pitcher for Team Ryan. All right, into the game is Don Sutton, right-hander, 2.16 FIP in 1971 for the Dodgers, 17-12 with a 2.54 ERA. He'll be relieving Vida Blue. Blue goes 1 2/3. He gives up 1 hit, 2 runs so far, and we'll see he's on the hook for these 2 runs as well. So we got 1st and 3rd with 2 down. He gave up 4 walks against two strikeouts. Facing Pete Rose, a 66 is going to be a fly ball. That goes out into left center field as Pete Rose batting from the left side. Hits it the other way, and into left center field is Luzinski, who will make a nice play in the gap for out number 3. So Sutton comes in and shuts it down. 2 more runs come in to score. It's now 8-2. Team Ryan over Team Carlton. And we're going to let Bert Blyleven try to finish this one out. He's been in for an inning and 2/3. Let's see if he can complete the win for Team Ryan. He'll be facing off against the top of the order, Rod Carew, Joe Morgan, and Mike Schmidt. 23, that's going to be a ground out to the second baseman. The second baseman is Davey Johnson. He's a minus fielder, so 1 or 2 is an error, but he makes a nice play there, a diving stop, and we'll call that 4-3. He gets up, throws, and gets Rod Carew by an eyelash. It's Joe Morgan to the plate. Morgan is 1 for 3. He had a single in his last at-bat. 45 is going to be a fly out as he gets wood on it, sends it out into left center field, and it will be Jim Rice ranging over into the gap to make a play. And that's out number 2. Team Ryan is 1 out away now from an 8-2 victory. Mike Schmidt to the plate. He's 1 for 1. He's got 3 walks and an RBI and a stolen base. He's going to add another walk here. Maybe. Nope. He gets plunked by Bert Blyleven. A 1 is a hit by pitch, or anything 2 and above is going to be a walk. Dave Parker up to the plate with 1 on and 2 outs. 46 is going to be a strikeout, and that will be a strikeout swinging as Dave Parker goes down for the 3rd time, 2nd time swinging, and that is going to be your ball game. So Team Ryan wins this one 2, 3, 6, 8 to 2. And let me go ahead and total everything up. We'll come back with those totals right after this. All right, and we are back with the totals. Team Ryan wins this one 8-2. The line for Team Carlton is 2 runs on 5 hits, 1 error. For Team Ryan, it was 8 runs on 8 hits and no errors. Fergie Jenkins is going to get the win. He goes 6 1/3, gives up 5 hits and 2 runs. Did have a ton of walks, but also a ton of strikeouts. And the loss is going to go to J.R. Richard, 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 6 runs, and 6 Ks against 5 walks. Notables, Mike Schmidt goes 1 for 1. He's on base every time, including a hit by pitch. He walked 3 times and got a base hit with an RBI. 2 for 3 for Greg Luzinski. He had a couple of singles and a walk. He was on base 3 times. And down here for Team Ryan, Bobby Bonds goes 1 for 3 with a couple of walks. Freddie Lynn 1 for 4. He did have 2 RBIs. 1 for 4 day for Willie Stargell with a couple of RBIs as well. And some 1-4s down here. 1 for 3 for Ted Simmons, who had a big 2-run single in the 8th inning. So this is playing with the 1970s, so an intra-squad game between the 1970s decade greats. I'll be releasing this set soon. Yesterday I released the 1941 set for on-base baseball. So you're talking about DiMaggio's hit streak, 1941. Ted Williams hit 400 at 406 in 1941 as well. So a big year. It was also a Yankees-Dodgers World Series. So you're going to get some of those Yankee-Dodger great teams from the 40s. And what else happened yesterday? Oh, there's a sale for like an opening weekend sale. So you can get 20% off everything on-base baseball and everything quick play baseball, which is a quick playing game that I created maybe a couple years ago and revamped last year and released it during the season last year. So it's a fun little game that fits into a tuck box, this size, and you can take the game with you. It's super portable. The game engine actually fits into the tuck box as well, and you play it with a deck of cards. So it's not a difficult game to play, but super fun. You can play 3 different modes. There's sort of like the quick play mode, a medium play, and then there's full play, where you can play full play with just a deck of cards. So I've taken it to the coffee shop before and just knock out a couple of games, just keeping score inside of a notebook. Kind of fun just to be able to put that in your backpack or something like that and take it with you. A lot of fun to do that. What else do we have? So this set will be coming out soon, and I'll be sure to release that on the channel and let everybody know when that is going out. And yeah, I think that's it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, click subscribe. If you want to support the channel, share this, give this a thumbs up. There are a couple different things that you can do on your social media channels just to be able to tell others about this. And if you like the games that we make, You can share that clark@addisongaming.com. Just share that URL out with people, and they'll be able to go and check out the games at the website right now. That 1941 season is going to be free, so I'm considering that to be kind of the free demo, so that you can get an entire season for free. So if you want to introduce somebody to on-base baseball, you like what is going on here with the game, then you can send them to that page where the 1941 season is, and then share that page with them and just say, hey, if you want to try out on-base baseball, here you go. This is a free set, and it's totally free and complete. You can get all the players carded. It's over 800 players, I think, that are carded, and you also get the roster sheets. So, and this time I've taken the roster sheets and divided them up by team, which is something that people who like to play with the roster sheets have been talking about for a while. So I did that in this set, and I'll try to be doing that for each of the sets moving forward. There were some issues with that. As we went along, it wasn't necessarily very easy to do that. So it's not been an easy process for me to do that with the cards, the way that I make the cards. So I can do it with the roster sets a little bit more easily, and so I'll commit to doing that. That way you can just print off the teams that you want and have those available. The people with the roster sheets have said it would be a lot easier if we could do that. With the cards, most people are, most gamers are cutting those out, and it's not a huge deal. So that's that. And if you haven't joined the Facebook group, I encourage you to. Sometimes I'm posting stuff there that I don't post anywhere else. And so if you want game news earlier, there are some different things. Like I haven't posted about this 1941 season being free anywhere except for there in the on-base baseball group. People can figure that out and find it if they want to at the website, but I'm not going to publicize that too much, just here on my own channels. And yeah, super excited. There's a new up-tempo basketball season out, so if you like basketball or you want to try a cards and dice basketball game, up-tempo is really fun. It's not quite the slog of a lot of basketball games. It's still play-by-play, but it moves along pretty quickly. You can knock out a game in an hour or less, which is quite a bit faster than most basketball games. And you still get the flavor. It's got some fun things like the ability to hit on scoring runs and stuff like that, which is a lot of fun and can add a lot of drama to the basketball game. So if your team's behind and they hit a scoring run, they can get right back into the game. Or if it's close and your team hits a scoring run, they can put a team away. So it can be a really kind of an interesting dynamic that happens with that. And better teams get more opportunities for the scoring run. So it's not like it's equal opportunity there. But it can really keep a bad team in a game, or it can allow a good team to kind of blow out a bad team depending on how many runs they hit in the game. So it's a fun dynamic. Probably the most unique thing about the game is that. But you can play with the real players. Each team comes with the top 10 players who got playing time that year, and so you can kind of dish out points and things like that with those top 10 players. So a lot of fun. There's a guy, Max's Card and Dice. He has a channel where he's playing an up-tempo ABA 1974-75 season with Dr. J and the Nets. And so he's replaying the Nets season, and it's kind of cool to see him playing that. I've got a nice little dice roller online, an application that makes playing the game quite a bit quicker, and it also does a lot of the timing and stuff like that for you, because sort of predetermined, possession, and so timing is a little bit easier to do with the online app. But that does really speed up the game quite a bit when you do that. But he's playing with dice and, moving the timer himself, and more power to you, man. That's pretty hardcore, and he still gets a game in 40 minutes. And he's doing everything. He's doing the full game. So playing defense, individual players, dishing out points and stuff like that for the scoring runs. So he's going all the way with it and playing with dice, and he can still play it in 45 minutes or so. So it's a quick playing game that is like a full play game. So you'll get definitely more than the flavor of basketball. You'll get the ups and downs of basketball in there. So that 2009-2010 season is out. That's a lot of the stars from today. It's Steph Curry's rookie year. Kevin Durant is in that set, but you get a lot of people from before. Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, D. Wade, Dirk Nowitzki is in there. Even Steve Nash, like at the very end of his career. You get Amari Stoudemire. So there's some big-time players who are in that. But Curry and James Harden and DeMar DeRozan, they were all rookies that year. So you kind of get a little bit of a crossover set with a lot of different types of players. So guys from the 90s and the early 2000s. You get prime. It's actually really prime Tim Duncan. I think he's like 31, 32, something like that. Prime Dirk Nowitzki, prime D Wade, prime Kobe Bryant. You got a lot of guys like in the middle of their careers, and really cool to be able to see them on the court together. All right, I think that's it from here. I hope you have a happy Easter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.